Hey, and welcome to North Sun's Entertainment ACMG competition tutorial video list. Oh boy, that was a mouthful. Maybe something shorter, like, welcome to ACMG competition. Yeah? Alright, okay, anyways, well, welcome. Nonetheless, I wanted to share with you guys the first installment into the tutorials that we have going on for this competition. The first thing that we want to do is introduce you into GameMaker, but the first things we want to do is start off with, well, downloading GameMaker. So, let's go ahead and get started right away. I'm going to change the screen here a little bit. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are just going to simply type in GameMaker, if I can type Studio. And we're just going to go straight to their website. And how convenient. It's a free download right there on screen. If you're interested in purchasing this software right away before the competition, go right ahead. Feel free, because the standard version is only $50. And to an average person buying that, that's quite a bit of money, you know, to front for a piece of software that you've never used, and which is the reason why we're going to allow you to use the free version. So you can just download the free version there. But if you wanted to upgrade to the standard version, it's definitely worth it. You don't need all this extra stuff over here on the side. That's for when you get a little bit more into it. So for now, just stick with the standard or the free version of the Studio. The only difference between those two, obviously, is the unlimited resources option. So if you get a free version, you do have limited resources that you can use, but you can still make a decent game in it. So all you're going to do is download the free version. It's going to take you here. You download it. After you download it, go right ahead and install it. Don't hesitate to continue through that really quick. Now, after you have it installed, go ahead and open it up. And once it's opened up, we're just going to go ahead and start by creating a new project. Don't even worry about naming. You know what? I'm going to name this. I'm going to name it. Boom. Created it. Alright. No one's going to stop me. So, once we have that all loaded up, I'm going to go ahead and change the screen region to show you guys the entire software. Now what we have here is what it looks like when we first open up a new project. There may be some features that I have in here that you do not have, such as the different target platforms or being able to configure and all that, because I do have the master collection. So, once it's started up, let's go ahead and go over the interface so you can get the hang of it. I'm not going to go into details on how to use everything, because I will be listing those in the future tutorials so that you can go through and take it one step at a time rather than getting I don't know, hours of tutorial in one video and you're like, oh my gosh, where did I leave off, and blah blah blah. So let's keep this to going over the interface. So up here in the left hand side is everything you need to look at. And again, I'm going to change it up so that that is all we need. Alright, let's change that. Okay, so up here we have the File, Edit, Resources, Scripts, Run, Window, and Help. In the Help page, I'm just going to go over this really quick because you might end up using this a lot. I want to show you what you can use to check out all of the stuff that we go over, and it's under Knowledge Base. And when you pull it up, it's going to give you a website that has just tons of information on how to do everything. And don't hesitate to look at the help files if you need it. There's no problem using this. This is a very good tool. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off in the File. And under File, we have New Project, Open, Importing Projects, and then Recent Projects that we've worked on. And then, of course, the Save, Options. And one of the most important pieces is Create Application. This is where you will render your project into a playable game. And then you have Preferences, where you can edit all of your basic stuff, such as, make backups, change your skin, which by default it's going to look like this ugly green and black, and it's just ugly. So I changed mine to GameMaker 8. If you change it to the HTML5 version, it's going to be like orange and black, and it's going to look like Halloween. If you change to the green, it's going to look like the logo. and it's so weird. I don't even know why that's the default. I like to keep it clean and simple. I like to focus on my game and not the interface for this program. Alright, so you can go ahead and change all your information here for what you want to see. Your forums, I'd keep it at the default, but if you wanted to get into, changing up everything, feel free. I keep it at default though. Alright, so moving on to the edit. That'll be used, more when you're creating resources and stuff like that to use in your game. But one of the most important things right now that I can go over is the transparent background settings. When you open this up, this is what it looks like whenever you edit a room and stuff, and the background color to those objects when you're editing sprites. I would suggest using single color and then changing it to like a ridiculous color that you can stand from. I keep it the gray because I'm used to it, but you can change it to a green so that you can see what your sprites look like and all that deal, which might use for sprite creation. And then under the Resources tab, this will be creating all of your objects, which can also be accessed by right-clicking on one of their folders, and then you can just hit Create, which it has the sprites, sounds, backgrounds, paths, scripts, shaders, fonts, timelines, objects, rooms, and then changing the global game settings. Now this is per project, whereas when you go under the Preferences, that gives you all of the information for the software itself. Under the global game settings, this is per project rather than the entire thing. And again, you can just keep these the exact same, except under project info, you can put your author, and then you can put the information of your game in there. Also, under Windows, you have the information for your game specifically. So this says Game Maker Studio. You're going to want to put your game name here. So I'll just do that for a test, and then this automatically increments as you build your project. But you can put your company's name, you can put the product, your copyright, and a description of your game. And then once you get an icon made up, you can do your Game Maker icon here, or you can choose to display your cursor in-game or outside of game, which we'll go into that. For the graphics, I would most likely suggest not to start in full screen mode unless your game just direly needs to start in full screen, because this right here can be really obnoxious trying to start up a game. You can offer an in-game command that says, press Alt-Enter to go into full screen, or give an options menu with a full screen option. Again, just keep these default. There's nothing that you need to really go into unless you really need to speed up your game. But it should be okay from there. And I would suggest not allowing the player to resize the game window, because this could cause your graphics to mess up when they try. And lastly, for this one is the installer graphics, which you can get in and create headers and stuff like that for when they install it. I'm not really worried about it, making it for this competition. You don't really have to worry about it. But if you wanted to distribute your own game, I would definitely go ahead and change this. And that is the only one we're going to worry about, for this project, because it's supposed to run on Windows. I'm not going to worry about, the Mac or Windows 8 or the other operating systems, but I don't think you can really export to them in the free version. So, anyways, the next one's going to be scripts. And under scripts, this is just checking all of your variables and functions and stuff just to see all of what you have in your project. You're not really going to use this as much because we're not going to go into scripting, but it is very helpful when you go and extend your Game Maker projects into GML. And under run, we have the functions run normally, run and debug, and in debug you can check out variables and stuff, and you can debug your game without having to create your own in-game objects to check stuff for you. And then we have clean build, which cleans up the project, brings down file sizes, gets rid of stuff that's unneeded, which is very helpful before you actually build your project. And then, you guys, windowed is, if you have an object's window open, you can cascade the windows, close them. Pretty simple. And then in the toolbar beneath that, we have all those same options in those menus, all up here on the top. And so, I can go in order. You got new file, open, save, create application, play regular, play debug, stop the project if something's going wrong and you don't have access to a close button. Cleaning up, the project's resources, and then you're creating a sprite, a sound, a background, a path, creating a script, creating a shader, creating a font, a timeline, an object, and a room. And then you have your game settings and configurations. And then if you change your target up here to a different one, this is where it'll play the game. So if you have it hooked up to a Mac, it'll play on your Mac. If you have it HTML5, it'll open the browser, and so forth. So, like I said, it is a very simple interface, and I would not be worried about learning it. When we get further into it, you'll be able to understand pretty easily. But this software is super easy to use, like I have shown you. So I thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next tutorials. Thank you guys for watching.